John chapter 11 verse 38. Then Jesus, deeply moved again, came to the tomb. It was a cave and a stone lay against it. Okay, so we're standing, I think it's a Roman Catholic church here, and there's the biggest, supposedly, mosque in Southeast Asia, just on the other side of the road. Right, so let's continue. So, Jesus was moved. He was moved in this case now, as I say, moved again. Moved, I mean, in the sense of him moving to another place, but him internally being moved concerning what the people are saying. Now, why is he moved here? Right, the first time, because of their tears. In this case, the move is because of their what they believe, what they say. Okay, so in other words, right, that he loved him by the one group, and the other group was like, oh, couldn't he heal him as well? Because he healed the blind man, kind of idea. And so I think what moved him here, therefore, is their opinion of him, that it doesn't matter what he does, the world is going to hate him. That's just that. It doesn't matter what Jesus did on this planet, or it didn't matter what he did. They're going to hate him. They hated him they didn't want to believe in him because for the healing of the blind man, I already explained that. And but now they're using the healing of a blind man as an excuse for why they're not believing him. It's like, do you're damned, and don't you're damned. It doesn't matter which way you go, you're always kind of damned, right? Sorry for that. It's just that beep 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 beep. It's not a bird, unluckily. That would have been nice, but it's just a traffic light. And I think so. Therefore, he was moved in the sense of, it doesn't matter what he did. The world hates him. They're not going to believe in him. No one will believe in him. And that moved him, like now it's moving me now. It doesn't matter how I jump up and down in front of people. They're not going to believe. It doesn't matter how you can prove to people that God exists. Like one Russian atheist today wrote me, and it's like, well, actually a couple of days ago I just read a message there, I was busy, about there's no faith, is totally empty, there's no proof of it. It doesn't matter how I can slap a flower in your face and say, how can you call this empty, right? A lightning strike, you're struck by lightning, you say that is empty. You feel it, right? I mean, if I pinch myself, I feel it. The proof of the existence of God is everywhere. Our faith isn't based upon nothing, but we don't want it. It doesn't matter how I try and explain and go on explaining. I just don't want to believe, because I don't want to believe. And I think this is what moved Jesus in this case. So they came to the tomb. It's a cave, stone lay again, remember? So they were not buried under the ground, buried in caves, like Jesus is going to be buried in a cave. And as well, understand the fact that he shows he's been buried in a cave, his position in society, money. Josephus had a cave like that. He was rich. Burial site. Now, Jesus was most likely not buried in Josephus' site. He was just buried in a place that was close by. So yeah, that is just why. And then stone laid against it. Same thing that is going to happen to Jesus. Verse 39. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the sister of the dead man, said to him, "Lord, by this time there will be an odor, for he has been dead 4 days." But Jesus said, "Take away the stone." At least his mother, at that first sign, told him, whatever he tells you to do, they did. In this case, Martha is, no, don't do that. Again, the pragmatist, realist. Okay? And an answer, he's been dead for 4 days, he stinks. Right, don't, that's not right. Okay? Well, that's the whole point. He's been dead, there's odor already, you know, it's if a person is still alive, kind of, there's not going to be an odor, at least not like this. It's going to be some odor, but not a dead odor. Yes, 4 days. Verse 14. Jesus said to her, "Didn't I tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" Now Jesus reminds her of what he told her. This is about the glory of God. So believe. You said you believe. Now show it. Don't always use your head, okay? I said, I mentioned before, for Reformed people and as me, for us, faith is a lot. Our head knowledge of God is so important to us. Our understanding, we want to understand everything. I think that's a very Reformed kind of thing. It's like that's why the best theologians from Reformed people, because we're always busy studying. We always try to understand. Loving God with our mind is. Just last night in the church, I was speaking about loving God with our mind and what it means, loving God. Now, yes, sure, it's not with your head just. Okay, it's more than just loving God with your head, as a pastor explained last night. Or yesterday afternoon. And so then that church. It's not so. This is kind of so important for us. But the thing is, like when a miracle then happens, it's like but that's not how it's supposed to be. It's not that we as Reformed people don't believe in miracles. Sure, I believe in miracles. I've seen lots of miracles in my life. That's not. I don't believe in these on the show miracles, right? That they do there and la 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 la, and people fall over or whatever, and they get up and walk. And kind of that's a show. Right? That's not from God. I don't believe in those miracles, but God sure do miracles. I've seen miracles happen, and lots in my life as well. And things are not supposed to be. But often we can. Those Reformed people can just kind of think that it's not going to happen, but be like Martha here. But Lord is thinking already. This is not the wisest idea, right? Like we try to the sovereignty of God, but then when it gets to sovereignty of God and God tells us to do something, we're like, God, but that's not the best of ideas. Okay, so people always say, I'm so against Pentecostals, Charismatics, and Baptists are always wine jokes, but I'm against the Reformed people as well. I mean, not against. Understand me correctly. I'm not against anyone. There's a little short detour here with the mosque on the other side and the church on this side. I'm not standing or don't record in front of Buddhist places or Muslim places to stone them, to say how bad you are and how good we are. They are, in a certain sense, our enemy, in a certain sense, but they are the easy enemy, the enemy outside the gates. Okay, the worst enemy, and the ones I will speak out always more, is about the enemy inside the gates, about the Christians. Okay, like the Roman Catholics who say they believe in God, but then they worship Mary. But I know they will say they don't do that. But man, you ask a rank and file Roman Catholic, then they do it. I know it's not their theology, but then they need to explain to the people that this is not right. Okay, so I mean, they look liberal theologians, hyper Calvinists. I mean, we need to speak out at these things. Okay, so that is more important. The enemy outside the gates, that's the most dangerous. And this all comes from ultimately Martha. Like, no, Jesus, these things is older. We can't do this. No, if Jesus tells you to do something, do it. Of course, it's for the glory of God. I say, this is not for his salvation. This is not for his resurrection. This is not so that he can rise from the dead. This is for the glory of God. It's going to lead to his death, which will glorify God in the highest. There's no other higher glory than that, ultimately. So praise God for that. So yeah, she said she believes. So now show it. Don't just fall back on, but this is not realistic. This is not pragmatistic. This is not these things.